It was late June of 2021 in British Columbia. A heat dome of unprecedented magnitude had the province grueling under its unrelenting grip. More than 600 people died, a large majority in the discomfort of their own homes.
We didn't understand that there was risk associated, and that I think is the part that we're going to be able to sort of address.
Fast forward to the summer of 2023. BC is still reckoning with that tragedy, and the struggle to stay cool at home continues to be a challenge. And it begs the question, are people any better equipped to withstand the heat? The CBC Investigative Unit wanted to get a clear picture of how hot it gets inside people's homes, to try to get a sense of inside temperatures during the day, and whether or not it gets any cooler at night. We did so with heat sensors like this one. This is a scientific quality sensor that's able to measure humidity and temperature around the clock. CBC bought 50 of these devices and set out to install them in apartments across 5 major cities in the country.
What struck me as a data person was that there was almost no data on how hot it actually got inside these people's places, and these people died inside.
If we install this in one place, it's able to muster data every 10 minutes, which you then download into your smartphone. The plan was to gather data for 8 weeks at the height of summer. 10 of these sensors remained in BC, while the rest were shipped off to Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg, and Windsor. The results would be compared to the closest Environment Canada weather station. Then we had to find the people. They had to be in places where there is little or no central cooling system. We wanted to get a range of residents that included people of different backgrounds and age groups. We identified the hot spots of Metro Vancouver and reached out to senior and tenant organizations to connect us. We came up with our 10 residents, who we kept in touch with all the while the data is being gathered.
It was a really hot day in Vancouver today, very muggy, very sticky. And I'm really hungry. I want to make dinner, but my apartment is so hot. It's 33 degrees in here.
I'm outside one of the buildings where we managed to get a sensor in. Now, the reading on the sensor is dropping while we're out here right now, but obviously we're well into September as we're filming this. This reading would have been far higher in the middle of July, but at night it typically does cool down. But what we found is that the temperature doesn't drop at all inside when the sun goes down. By mid-August, it was time to get the sensors back. Tara, tell us about the data that was gathered.
Yeah, so right here you can see the data that was gathered. This is from a person in Vancouver, so it just gives us the date, the temperature, the humidity, and the dew point. And so we took all of this data from our 10 Vancouver participants and put it all together, and we were able to see produce charts like this that showed us this blue and green line here is the indoor temperature, and then the orange line is the outdoor temperature. And you can see that the indoor temperature stays pretty high, even when the outdoor temperature kind of goes up and down like that.
The data spoke volumes, telling the stories of the elderly and people with disabilities at risk, living in old buildings that have trapped the heat inside their homes. What remains to be seen is what can be done to help people withstand the hot weather, in a race against climate change and more harrowing summers lying ahead. Pitargue, CBC News, Vancouver.